Hey guys, it's Mike with another Gilded Guardians Spotlight video. Today we're taking a look at Lixiss. She's a Terra Agility Keeper Ranger. I have actually never played with her, so I'm really excited to jump into her kit and see what she's doing. I think she's one of 3 Rangers in the game between her, Durizda, and Atticus. Currently, obviously we'll hopefully be getting more over time. Take a quick peek at her gear. She's going to use the same gear set as Durizda. We do have her in attack boots, so she will be fairly squishy, which we'll see if that's a problem. Being a Terra, she's also negative affinity to the Great Forge. We do have her with the attack on the weapon, all tier 6 gear. We got some crit rate going on with the helmet, as well as, oh, no crit rate. I thought we had crit rate on the chest plate as well. We did bring in the attack stats on the crossbow, which potentially, if she dies really fast, I might swap this out for a defense just to see if we can make her a little tankier to make it through the run. But we'll give it a shot and see how she goes. She is up at 615,000, so that's interesting that she's that high. I think it's just the gear that I have is better on the agility set than I do on the strength. So that's pretty much, but that's where we were aiming all along, was between 6 and 650. Haven't been able to hit it in a long time, so I'm pretty excited that my gear is getting better. Apparently I am improving. It's been at a standstill for a while, so it's kind of fun to see something that's moving in the right direction. Let's take a quick peek at her skills here. We've got Entangle is her AoE ultimate ability. She's going to throw traps at each enemy that explode after 3 seconds, dealing 150% of attack as physical damage. We have that up at 210%. So it's going to be kind of a delayed attack for 3 seconds, and she's throwing it at each enemy. So that's going to be a complete AoE. Everybody's getting hit for 210 after 3 seconds. So her second ability is Spike Trap. She's going to throw traps amongst the enemies that last for 5 seconds. Enemies that touch the trap will suffer 200% of attack as physical damage and suffer poison, which is losing 2% HP every 2 seconds for 8 seconds. And we've got that leveled up to 260% damage. I think this is one of the few places I've seen poison actually spelled out as far as what it's doing. So you're losing 2% every 2 seconds for 8 seconds. And then lastly, her passive is Toxicity, and basic attack cause poison and stackable reduction in defense 6% per stack. Poison can stack up to 6 times and last until the end of battle. Reduced defense by 8 is how we've got that leveled up. So she could actually stack some pretty good poisons on the enemy, and then we're doing 2% per poison as they're stacked every 2 seconds. So if you had 6 of those, you're doing 12% every 2 seconds. Did it say 6 or did I make that up? Yeah, poison can stack up to 6 times. So you could be doing 12% damage every 2 seconds for 8 seconds. Could do some pretty serious damage just in the poison category. So let's go ahead and jump into the Great Forge and see how she does on her own. Again, negative affinity and everything on her is attack currently, so she's probably a little bit squishier than we'd like her to be. But hopefully her damage outweighs her squishiness and she can get through these waves. Alright, so we are on to that first battle here. We're going to go ahead and get it going. Make sure we're off of 2 times speed. So she just one-hit that guy, which is pretty impressive. Like to see these traps get thrown out here. She's taking some stuns here. Here's the traps. And it takes 3 seconds for these traps to detonate. You can see it counting down there, and that was one hit and they were all dead. So that's actually kind of interesting that her AoE ability does that much damage. I mean, she is on the higher scale of power, but she is negative affinity. So that's kind of something to keep a close eye on and see how she does in the rest of the waves. She didn't seem to take on a lot of damage there, which is pretty impressive. So let's see how she does in the second fight. Ideally, we can get back to that ultimate ability and see it take all 5 of these people out at the same time. She got smacked pretty hard right there. So her attack, and again, she's got attack boots and the attack on the crossbow, so she is hitting pretty hard here. So this is going to, I think she killed him before it even hit him. But 2 hits on that guy, and so she's going through these waves pretty good. Alright, so we're moving on to that boss fight here in the 5th room, so we'll get this going. If we can get that ultimate ability where she's throwing traps on everybody, they all come up at her. So she's going to take on quite a bit of damage here. Yeah, here we go. I don't know if she's going to make it 3 seconds after this, but we'll see. She's dodging some. She's dodging. Countdown, explode, and she does kill the room barely. So She does do a lot of damage, and AoE damage at that, so I think she does have some merit there. I'm actually really impressed with the damage that she's doing, because we've seen other AoE abilities not take out the entire team. It seems like when those traps go off, they are killing everybody. That being said, she is in full attack mode with attack boots, with the attack on the crossbow. She barely squeaked it out, but if you added support around her, I think she'd be totally fine getting through those waves and having some healing on the back end. So I'm actually pretty impressed with her as a damage dealer. So if we take a look at Lixiss out in the Token Trove, her value is pretty low at 157. I think most epics are right around $2, especially the ones that you can't get fragments for. Now with Lixiss, I don't think you're getting fragments for her anywhere, but early in the game there's a progression reward where I think you're guaranteed to receive her as a champion. So that probably helps accounts get her, and I don't think too many people are building her, but I'm actually pretty impressed with the damage that she was able to do, especially early game. If you're struggling with damage, she'd be a great solution to get a little extra work going for you in the damage front. But I think that's probably what I got for you on Lixiss. She definitely wants to be part of a team with a healer. She doesn't have any healing in her kit specifically. Flix, Aquirus, in the back row, keeping her as a back row damage dealer. Those traps take a little bit of time to actually detonate, but when they do some serious damage. So that works out pretty well. And then I would probably try to build her the way we got her set up here, with all out attack, if you can afford it. If she's dying and she's just too squishy, you might jump in and get some defense or HP on the boots, and potentially maybe defense or HP on the accessory as well. But I think if you can afford to have her full out attack with a good healer behind her, that could work out really well. But I think that's what I got for you. I appreciate you guys spending the time with me today. Hopefully you learned something on Lixiss, and I look forward to seeing you next time.